Security is a big deal to everyone doing business on the web. Learn how to keep your customers and your business safe with an SSL certificate.
Hello guys, welcome to this lecture. Hello guys, welcome to this lecture. Things actually, okay. So in this session, we'll be seeing strings and we will be seeing about character set. First of all, character set means ASCII code. About ASCII code already, I think so. We have. Let me brush up those concepts. So character set, ASCII code we'll be seeing, then followed by character array, then followed by about string generally, then we'll be seeing how to create a string, creating a string. Fine. So these are all the things that we will be covering up. Okay. So first of all, we'll just come to character set or ASCII code. Okay. So we know very well that everything in computer is numbers. Okay. So coming to character set, or otherwise called as ASCII code, we can say that everything in computer is numbers. Okay. So what we since everything is in computer is a number, then where comes the character from? American Standard coded symbols like A, B, C, D, English alphabet, few more numbers. So they created symbols, and for each and every symbol they give a numeric code, because only numbers are available to us. Okay, since only numbers are available to us, number codes are assigned to few symbols. I'll just tell you about few symbols. We'll come to know what is symbols also. Okay, so number codes are assigned to every symbols. And how many symbols they gave us that? Actually 128 symbols only they introduced to ASCII organization. They introduced only 128 symbols they introduced. Okay, symbols. So 128 symbols means what they did is that they took numbers from 0 to 127. If I take, I have to first of all divide it by, will be my quotient, again divide 63 by 2. What will be my new quotient? 31. What will be my remainder? Remainder will be 1. Again divide 31 by 2. I'll be getting 15. And what will be my new remainder? My new remainder will be 1. Again divide 15 by 2. I will get 7. I will just get 7, and my new remainder will be equal to 1. The next one, divide 7 by 2. Divide 7 by 2. We get 3. And what will be my new remainder? My new remainder will be 1. Again, divide 3 by 2. My new quotient will be 1, and my new remainder will be 1. Again, divide 1 by 2. What will be my quotient? My quotient will be equal to 0, and my new remainder will be equal to 1. Once your quotient becomes 0, you can stop the process. I think this conversion process already I have taught you in the very first video, but again I have shown you. Okay, so how many reminders I have got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reminder. It means that 127 is the largest number, and that largest number can be represented in actually 7 bit. So what is the maximum bit I require? The maximum bit I require is 7 bit. But you come to computer's very smallest memory block is itself 1. So what happened is I will not be able to partially allocate only 7 bit. So what happened is that automatically they rounded it off and they allocated totally 8 bit. 8 bit means 1 byte. That is a reason why character always will take 1 byte of memory. So now we have proved that character variable will take only 1 byte of memory, because there are totally 128 1 byte, and there are totally 128 characters only available in ASCII, and those 128 characters are given the integer values from 0 to 127. So if I need to store 127, then I am requiring 7 bit only. So that is a maximum value also. So I can say that it requires only 7 bit, but computer's smallest memory block is itself 1 byte. So I will not be able to partially allocate 7 bit. So I am allocating 1 byte of memory. Okay, fine. So we will also just see about a few ASCII codes also. We will just first of all take, they have included only English alphabets. Okay, they have included only English alphabets. So let me introduce few English alphabets like A, B, C, and it is going to be up to Z, for example. Okay, so we'll just I'll just tell you about A. What is the new number assigned to A? A is given the number code called 65. B is given the number code called 66. Okay, 6 is given the C is given the ASCII code of 67, and this goes on up to Z, and Z will be having the its uppercases. These are all uppercase characters. Okay, alphabet as well as uppercase. So it will go up to Z, which will continuously. Okay, 65, 66, 67. D will be having 68. So up to Z 90. These are the numbers allocated for English alphabets. That to uppercase. Coming to lowercase, small a will be is assigned with 97. Lowercase b is assigned with 98. Lowercase c is assigned with 99, and this keeps on going up to lowercase z, which is assigned with 122. Again, if you come here, if you see among those 128 characters, even number also occurs as a character. Numbers also are changed into a symbol. So there exists a symbol called 0, and which is allocated with the numeric value 48. There exists a symbol called 1, which is assigned with 49. 2 is assigned with 50. So this keeps on going up to 9. Only digits we are having. From 0 to 9 we are having it as a symbol. Okay, so 9 keeps on going. So if you see for space, even space is also having a, if you just give space means not the character space, not this word space. I'm just speaking about the space that you give using space bar. Whenever you give a space, that space is converted to a ASCII code 13. It is given a value called 13. Coming to enter, whenever you press your enter keyboard, in keyboard you have enter key, right? Whenever you press a key, it is converted to a ASCII code called 10, which is also represented by a escape sequence called /n. So /n is having a corresponding ASCII code called 10. Then if you come for escape is also having a number called 27. So like this you can keep on seeing all those 128, but these are the very important characters that you need to remember always. Okay, fine. So see, ASCII code is one way of, we have also, like if you know Java is having a different format. Here we are following ASCII code, there in Java we are following Unicode, which is completely different. It occupies 2 byte, and 2 byte in the sense the number of characters is very vast there. Okay, it's 2 power 16 characters are there. Because Unicode is made for all the languages like Chinese, a lot of languages are available. Here only ASCII code is having only English alphabets, English character symbols. Okay, fine. So we are not going to see about Unicode and all because we are seeing C. Okay, fine. So now I'll just declare few, I'll just show you few demo of characters, how to assign, how you should not assign, all those things. Fine. Okay, first of all we'll just include the standard input output header file followed by the main function, manager function. Okay, so first of all, how to declare a variable in character data type. First of all, the type character followed by char followed by the variable name. For example, let me take ch. Okay, so this is declaration part. So this is called as declaration of a character. Fine. Now how to initialize? You can initialize in a separate line or as well as in the same declaration or line also. You can single quote a. This is a valid initialization. I'll just tell you which is valid, which is invalid. This is a valid initialization. Okay, fine. So what I will do is I'll just simply print and I'll just show you ch. So now what I will do is I'll just simply execute and I'll just show you. I'm just compiling.
Uh, Hello guys, do you able to hear me? Hello guys, do you able to hear me? Guys, do you able to hear me? Okay guys, I think hope you are able to hear me. I think yeah. So guys, you can just start posting out your doubts so that I can just clarify it for you. I think yes, Ms. Lakshmi Priya is not available today, so I'm the Sachin. Uh, Hope you might have heard my name. Okay, I'm Sachin. So today I'm going to handle this doubt clarification session for you. So you can just post any doubts that you have in the entire training. The topics that have been covered so far, and also in the today's lecture also, so that I'll just able to clarify your doubts. You can go ahead, guys. You can just start posting out your doubts so that I can just start clarifying it. Guys, I think hope you are able to hear me, right? Yes, do you able to hear me? Guys, do you able to hear me? I think few peoples are coming in now only. I think it's now 90. So guys, again let me repeat the same thing that I've just saying. You can just start posting out your doubts so that I can just clarify. Today Lakshmi Priya is not available, so I'm going to handle this live session. Okay, so this is Sachin from this end. Guys, is it audible, right? Is it audible? Right, there is a question from Ashwant Anjru that, sir, can you explain about the abstract data type? A very nice question, Ashwant. So let me just start with what is mean by abstract data type actually. Okay, so for example, just let me take a notepad to just type and show you. Okay, so yes, I can just, okay, fine. So font, let me increase the font for your visibility purpose. Okay, fine. So you're just asking me for abstract data type. Okay, so what is abstract data type? To understand what is abstract data type, first of all you should know what is object oriented programming. You know already very well that C programming does not support object oriented programming, whereas C++ does support. But I'm not going to teach what is object oriented programming exactly, but you want to know exactly why we require object oriented programming and exactly what is meant by object oriented programming, so that you can understand what is abstract data type better actually. Okay, so taking object oriented programming, why do we require object oriented programming is you need to understand two concepts like structure and function. Okay, structure and function, right? So when you take structure, what is called a structure? Why do we require structure? And many people, what you say is that we need structure for to store collection of to store dissimilar data types, whereas in array only similar data types can be stored, but in structure dissimilar data types can be stored. But the main purpose of structure is not to store dissimilar data types, but to group the related data member. For example, let me take a concept called as rectangle. Rectangle, for example, there can be many attributes that are related to rectangle. For example, length and breadth. You know very well, and length and breadth are two data about rectangle. So length and breadth, okay, yeah, length and breadth. So now what we are going to do is, since length and breadth are related to one another, length and breadth are two data related to a single rectangle, we are going to group these two variables. So instead of having independent variables, instead of declaring length variables separately and breadth variables separately, we are going to have this length and breadth under a particular, like under a structure. So we are what we are doing is we are generally grouping all the variables that are related to one another. Okay, for example, I have taken rectangle as a example. We can also have few other examples. We will just go with few other example. Let us take, for example, we can take student. What are all the data that is related to student? For example, name of a student. Okay, a roll number of a student. Then comes you can say year of studying. What is the year? Either first year, second year, or third year. What is the department of them? What is his date of birth? So these are all the data that is related to student. So instead of declaring name as a separate variable, roll number as a separate variable, year as a separate variable, department as a separate variable, DOB as a separate variable, instead of having each and every data member separately, we are grouping it as a single structure, because these are all the data that is related to a single entity, either rectangle or student. Okay, so first of all, you understand what is structure. Structure is just a collection of related data members. It is a collection of related data members. Okay, coming to function. What is a function? Function is a collection of related instructions. See, both the definitions are pretty much similar actually. If you take the definition of structure, it is a collection of related data members. This is what you mean by structure. But coming to function, what is the definition of function? The definition of functions are collections of related instructions. Okay, what is the instruction? For example, I wanted to find the average of few numbers. I want to find the average of few numbers. For example, I'm taking 10, 23, 12, 6. So these are the numbers that we are. Guys, do you able to hear me? Do you able to hear me? Is it audible, guys? Sorry, there was a network problem actually. I had a network disconnection. That is the issue. Sorry for it. Okay, I think hope it is audible now. So that I can just continue what I was just telling you actually. So see, we're discussing about abstract data type. So in order to understand abstract data type, you should be a little bit familiar with object-oriented programming. So for that purpose, for understanding object-oriented programming, I also introduced you to structure and function. So whereas what is structure? Structure is a collection of related data members. For example, I have shown you two examples like rectangle and student. All the data that is related to rectangle or otherwise, all the data that is related to students are grouped together. That is the primary need, and that can be dissimilar is a secondary add-on point. Okay, fine. Next, what is function? Function is a collection of related instruction. This is where we stopped actually. So function is a collection of related instruction. What is mean by instruction? For example, we take up a scenario like we want to find the average of numbers. So we have taken few numbers like 10, 20, 50, 23, 12 and 6. So now what we have to do is we have to find the average. So what is the procedure? Step 1, you have to take first of all the numbers. What is step 2? You have to find the sum of all the numbers. You have to find sum of all the numbers. Third step, then you have to find how many number of elements are available. Last step, you have to divide the sum of numbers divided by the number of elements. So each and every step is a instruction, each and every. So add all the numbers, instruction. Okay, divide divide the sum divide the sum by total number of elements available. It is also a instruction. So these are all the instructions that are related to what? Average finding. So that is why I'm saying collection of related instruction. Okay, those are what are the instruction. Take the numbers for which you want to find the average. Second, add all the numbers. Third, find how many elements are present. Finally, divide sum and the number of elements. So these four instructions are related to average finding. So this is what we call it as a function. So function is a collection of related instruction. So now what is the connection between structure, function and object oriented programming? What is object oriented programming? What is object? What is class? Class is one. You see, when we start writing class, then we call it as a object oriented programming. What is a class? We know what is structure, what is function. What is a class? Class is a combination of both structure and function. That is, you take a scenario. For example, let me take rectangle. Rectangle, what are the related data member? Length and breadth. What are all the operations available? Actions available. What is the operations? Finding area, finding perimeter of a rectangle are all operations on rectangle. So area of a rectangle, perimeter of a rectangle are two operations which is also called as functions. So the function called as area, the function called as perimeter, and the data called as length and breadth. So put together it is called as class. So you take a entity like rectangle or student, all the data member as well as all the functions related to that particular entity. If you are grouping it together, then it is called as class. That is what called as object oriented programming. Okay, so you write a structure is a collection of variables. Function is a collection of instructions. When you combine both things together, it is what called as class, and it is what called as object oriented programming. Now you might ask me, what is the relationship between object oriented programming and abstract data type? Okay, so now I'll tell you what is abstract data type. You take a data type. For example, let me take as array. It's a derived data type, right? Let me take example array. Now hello guys, do you able to hear me? Is it audible? Okay guys, sorry, I know that it is like it's it's like irritating for you people that the session is being interrupted in between. But I can't figure out the where is a network drop, but I'm having a good bandwidth, but I don't know what is happening around. So sorry guys for this for this trouble. So I think let me just continue and let me try to finish this abstract data type, and we can just probably close this session. So we can just resume it back tomorrow. I think Lakshmi Priya will be continuing for you tomorrow. Okay. So let me just finish out this abstract data type alone. Okay. So for example, when you take array, like what is abstract? See, abstract data type is exactly equal to what is object oriented programming. So for example, if you take array, there are few data which is associated with array. For example, you have to take a dynamic array, so that I'm taking a pointer, integer pointer. Then I'm taking a size variable. What is size? How much memory that I need to allocate for this pointer. Okay. Next one, int n. What is n? N is the present number of elements present in the given array. So these are the three data that is associated with array. So what is structure actually? Structure is collecting, grouping all the related data members, that is related variables together. So int star a, int size, int n, all these three variables are related to array. So why can't I just group it together? I'm just going to group it together as an array. So I'm going to take array as a structure. I'm just going to take array as a structure. Now this data type called as array can have many operations. It can have many operations. What are all the operations? What are all the operations? Like you can have merge operation, add operation, sum, insert operation, delete operation, sort operation, search operation. So you are having many operations that have to be done on array, upon array. So those operation, each and every operation can be written as a separate function. It can be separately taken as a separate function. So for example, you have taken a structure to group all the related data members. Then now you are going to start writing the function. For example, you are going to write functions like insert function. Then you can write delete function. Then you can write like search function. Then you can write sort function, and you can probably have display function of displaying all the elements of array. So you can have many functions that is related to array. So grouping out the related data members and the related functions are what generally called as class, what is generally called as object oriented programming. Here that is what called as abstract. Here what is that is what we mean by abstract data type. So what is abstract data type? Take up a data type. First of all, write down all the variables that is related to that particular data type, group it as a structure, then start writing out all the operations that can be done on over the data type, write all those functions, okay, and pass your structure as a parameter of this function, because this variables only you are going to use for this all these functions. So use this array, use this structure variable as a parameter of all these functions. So now what you have done is you have taken array, you have grouped all the variables together, and you have grouped all the functions that are related to that particular array together. So this entire collection of variables and the functions related to a particular data type is what we mean by abstract data type. Okay, so we have taken abstract data type. What is abstract data type? So if we want to know what is abstract data type, we need to understand what is object oriented programming. Then if you want to understand what is object oriented programming, then I need to get a clear knowledge of what is structure and function. So now we have learned what is structure. Structure is a collection of related data members. For example, we took rectangle and student, and whatever the variables that are related to rectangle are collected together as a structure. What is function? Collection of related instruction. Okay, you know already what is function. Okay, for example, for swapping you write a separate function, for sorting you write a separate function. Why? Because sorting, what are all the instructions that are related to sorting, that you are grouping it as a function. what are all the instructions that are required to perform swapping, you're grouping it as a function. Okay, so you know what is structure, what is function. The general definition is collection of related data and a member is what called a structure. Coming to function, it is a collection of related instructions. Now, what is abstract data type? Abstract data type is grouping all the variables and functions related to a particular data type together is what called as abstract data type. That is what also called as object oriented programming, also can be defined as class. What is a class? Class is a collection of variables and functions related to a particular entity. Entity means like rectangle, student, or like noun. You can just take simply as noun. Okay. So all the attributes means variables, methods means function. So we can also define it as class is a collection of attributes and methods. What is attribute? Variables. We normally say variables. And what is methods? Methods means functions. Okay, so class or object oriented programming is what it is what the idea behind abstract data type. You can see in Python, by default Python is having abstract data type. We need not to create a abstract data type. By default, all the data types have been implemented by using abstract data type methodology. That is, every data type is written as a class in Python. Okay, so it is a very important topic, because when you want to go forward like into C++ or into Python, then this basics of abstract data type will definitely help you to understand the structure of Python actually, very importantly, because it is completely based on abstract data. So you have to have a basic knowledge of what is abstract data type in order to get into languages like Python, object oriented programming languages like Python. Okay, guys, is there any other doubts, guys? Is there any other doubts? Guys, let me know just whether you have any doubts, guys, please. Okay, I think Gomant Puvada, no sir, thank you, because I think you are expecting me to stop the session as soon as possible. Okay, that is why I'm just getting a very fast reply from you. Is it audible, guys? Is it audible? Hello, guys. Do you able to hear me now? Do you able to hear me now?